Okay, well, welcome to our video on how to schedule layouts. So far, right, let's recap. We've logged into our control panel. We've reviewed our dashboard. We've uploaded images to our video or to our library on the system. We've created a layout, and we have added content to that layout. Next in our step is, now that we've accomplished all that, is to go ahead and create a schedule for that content. So this is where our displays and our creative efforts come together. Again, I'm starting from the dashboard. I'm just going to go ahead and click on Schedule up here in the top menu. That's going to bring up my calendar of available dates that I can schedule content for. I'm just going to widen it out a little bit. And then on the left-hand side, to make you familiar with this window, the left-hand side, I have my list of displays that I have access to, as well as groups that I have access to. Here in our training console, right, I have access to a single display, which is my display, and I don't have access to any groups. And depending on the size of our operation and the number of displays that we put in, we may have multiple groups that have been defined that will allow us to send content to multiple displays with a single schedule. I can use this name box up here to filter my displays. So if I had a whole bunch, just starting to type the name and hitting enter begins to filter that list for me. And since I only have one, that's all I can see. The calendar at the top allows me to advance the calendar by month. So currently I'm looking at this month, but I can go ahead and advance forward and start scheduling far into the future if I need to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with today's date. One thing that the system is adamant upon is that you cannot schedule content for a day that is in the past. So if I go ahead and choose the 26th, today being the 27th, it won't allow me to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the 27th. Now I'm going to select from the list. This little box again allows me to filter content that's available to me. I only have a single layout, so I'm going to select that layout from the list. And then I only have a single display. I'm going to select that display from the list. If I have multiple displays here, I could select all the ones that I want to apply this schedule to. So it's not a one-to-one relationship. It's a single display can have one schedule, or a schedule can actually work with many displays. So that's one thing to think about. As we scroll down, let's fill out the boxes as we go. The start time is the date and time that you want the layout to start playing. So if you have content that you want to have available, let's say for happy hour, you could start that at 5 p.m. every day. If you wanted to have content that you wanted to start on the let's say starting this Saturday, I would go ahead and select Saturday, and what happens is the date and time automatically get filled in, and we want the first minute of that day for it to start. So I'm going to choose 0:0, and if you want, you can put in double zeros in there. That way it resembles time more easily. The next one I'm going to choose is the date that I want it to stop playing my content. So with this one, I'm just going to go to the 30th. And on this one, we're going to advance this to be the end of the day. So 23 hours, 59 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to run from the 29th through the 30th, and I'm going to display my content. This window also has the ability to have a few more features. One is I can specify display order. So if I have multiple items scheduled, I can say, look, I always want this to be 4th in the list. So play the other content items that are 4 or lower, and then play mine. Or I can go ahead and say play mine first. If I'm not concerned with the order that they display in, I can leave it empty. And then the other option is the priority option. And what this means is, regardless what is happening with the displays, when you receive this and this schedule starts, this one is to have priority, meaning this is the only display or the only schedule and layout that will run on that display at that time. So if you have a display, for instance, you're doing a fire drill, or you're sending out alerts across all your displays to let your employees know some special information that needs to happen immediately, by setting it as priority, it'll override the other content and force this content to be played on top of the other content. The next is the recurring event. I'm going to uncheck priority. The recurring event basically allows you to repeat your schedule on a specified frequency. So in this case, I can repeat every hour, I can repeat every day, every week, or every month, or every year. So if I wanted to play at the end of every month on the 29th and 30th, my layout, maybe it was like a message to my employees or an end of month special that I want to run, I could do that. At this point, we don't want to do any of the recurring events. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And what that's going to do is create my event and add it to the calendar. And we're just going to check our display so that we can see what is scheduled for it. So if you look, here's my schedule, or here's my schedule down here. It says GDS Trainer. It runs from the 29th to the 30th. And we can see that I've selected my display to view what is currently scheduled for it. Okay. If I scheduled another one to start perchance on the 27th, I would do the same thing. Select all my items. I would go ahead and select the 27th as my start, and we're going to go ahead and choose the 29th as my end time, and I'll click Save. And what we begin to see, let me go ahead and adjust this. 29th, let's go overlap it here. See what because we only have a single layout, it is going to automatically just merge those schedules together. So if you look, here's my GDS Trainer for the 29th, so the 27th to the 29th, and then here's my GDS Trainer from the 29th to the 30th. But in all actuality, because I only have one layout, it's going to schedule the same layout to run, and I'm not going to notice that it's scheduled twice. Okay, if these were different layouts, it would go ahead and run them side by side. So that is our scheduling portion of the videos. We will be moving on to the more advanced topics in the system, other library types, as well as other ways to design layouts. So if you look forward to having you continue with us and learn more about your digital signage system, but what we've covered so far is the basics. So how to put content on your screens, and how to upload it into the system, and those types of things. Feel free to go back and review any of the tutorials. They're designed to be short form, so you can get through them in a few minutes, and by all means, if you want to work side by side with them, you can do that as well. So thank you for your time.